Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. on January 17, 1942, in Louisville, Kentucky. The boy who would become Muhammad Ali had no idea of the legendary path that lay ahead of him. Raised in the segregated South, young Cassius Clay faced the challenges of racial discrimination early on. But from the beginning, his story would be anything but ordinary. He would grow into a man whose courage, athleticism, and spirit would leave an indelible mark on the world. At the age of 12, Cassius Clay's life took a pivotal turn. After his bike was stolen, he stormed into a local gym, declaring that he would whop the thief. It was there that he met Joe Martin, a police officer and boxing coach. Martin, sensing Clay's determination, suggested that before he start fighting anyone, he should learn how to box. It didn't take long for the young Cassius Clay to excel in the sport. Under Joe Martin's tutelage, he began to rise through the amateur ranks. His natural speed, agility, and charisma made him stand out, even at a young age. He had found his calling, and the world of boxing would never be the same. By the time he was 18, Cassius Clay was ready for the international stage. In 1960, he traveled to Rome to represent the United States at the Summer Olympics. There, he displayed a style unlike anything seen before, dancing around his opponents, throwing punches with lightning speed, and showing off his trademark confidence. Clay won the gold medal, cementing his reputation as a rising star. Upon returning home, he turned professional with a burning desire to prove himself on the world stage. It wasn't long before he started making waves in the professional boxing world. His quick feet, sharp jab, and ability to predict opponents' moves were unmatched. On February 25, 1964, in Miami Beach, the brash young fighter faced his greatest challenge yet, Sonny Liston, the fearsome heavyweight champion. Few gave Clay a chance against Liston's power and experience. But Clay, never lacking in confidence, famously declared before the fight that he would float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and that he did. Clay shocked the world by defeating Liston and becoming the youngest heavyweight champion at the time. At just 22 years old, he was the king of the boxing world. But shortly after his victory, Cassius Clay made an announcement that would change the course of his life and career forever. He revealed that he had converted to Islam and adopted a new name, Muhammad Ali. In 1967, with the Vietnam War raging, Ali faced one of the most controversial moments of his career. He was drafted into the U.S. Army, but he refused to fight, famously stating, "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong." His stance was based on his religious beliefs and his opposition to the war. His refusal led to widespread criticism, and he was stripped of his heavyweight title. For 3 years, Ali was barred from boxing, losing not only his title, but also the prime years of his athletic career. But he stood by his principles, even as he faced prison time and financial ruin. His case eventually made its way to the U.S. Supreme Court, where his conviction was overturned in 1971. By then, Ali had become a symbol of resistance, not only for his stance against the war, but also for his role in the broader fight for civil rights. In 1971, after his return to boxing, Ollie faced Joe Frazier in what was billed as the fight of the century. Both fighters were undefeated, and the stakes were high. It was a brutal and evenly matched fight, but Frazier handed Ollie his first professional loss, knocking him down in the 10th round and securing a unanimous decision. But Ollie was not done. He continued to fight, reclaiming his title in 1974 in a stunning upset against George Foreman in the famous Rumble in the Jungle. Against all odds, Ollie knocked out Foreman in the 8th round, using his now legendary rope-a-dope strategy to tire out his stronger opponent. Ollie's victory in Zaire solidified his status as not just a champion, but as a global icon. Ollie's rivalry with Joe Frazier culminated in their third fight, the Thriller in Manila. It was a brutal, punishing contest that pushed both fighters to their physical limits. Ollie would later say it was the closest thing to dying he had ever experienced. But in the end, Frazier's corner threw in the towel, and Ollie emerged victorious once more. As the years went on, Ollie's career began to slow. His final fights were tough battles, marked by the toll boxing had taken on his body. In 1980, he attempted one last comeback, facing Larry Holmes, but he was no longer the fighter he once was. In 1981, after a defeat to Trevor Berbick, Ollie retired for good. Shortly after his retirement, Ollie was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a degenerative neurological condition likely caused by the many blows he took throughout his career. But even as his body weakened, Ollie's heart and mind remained strong. He continued to use his platform to advocate for peace, humanitarian causes, and the betterment of others. In 1996, the world watched as Muhammad Ali, now visibly affected by Parkinson's, lit the Olympic flame at the Atlanta Games. It was a powerful moment that symbolized not just his physical decline, but his enduring spirit and place in the hearts of millions around the globe. On June 3, 2016, Muhammad Ali passed away at the age of 74. His life was a testament to the power of belief, the courage of conviction, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. He was a fighter in the ring and for justice, a champion of his people, and a symbol of hope for the world. Muhammad Ali was, and always will be, the greatest.